All right, so we are at the end of this episode of the Capital Games Movie Club. But before I go, I'm going to answer a final question. So the whole thing going on with James Gunn running the DCEU, the new DCEU, which I doubt is what's going to be called, has started a lot of controversy in Twitter. And the one thing I keep seeing, and obviously it's from Zack Snyder fan accounts and big fans of the comics and stuff, is that people really liked Henry Cavill as Superman, and they're upset that he's not returning. Which, to an extent, I do understand that. I thought Henry Cavill was pretty good at Superman. I thought that if he was given a really good script, he could have made a fantastic Superman movie. Problem was, he was never given that. And even though I did enjoy Man of Steel, even I can say that it's not that hot. Like, it's fine. It's just not... like, it's a fine movie. But, like, Batman v Superman, not good. Justice League, horrible. And no matter what you guys say, I refuse to believe that the movie that was 2 hours long, that was released in theaters, that was so bad that if you gave me 2 extra hours, it would be much better. Yeah, I don't know about that. Maybe one day I'll go into it and watch it, but I'm not going to put my time into that. But anyway, yeah, so a lot of people are upset that Henry Cavill will not be Superman. There are rumors that Gal Gadot will probably not return as Wonder Woman, especially after what's happened with Patty Jenkins. This has led to a lot of these fan accounts, and, some others too, to say, wouldn't it be so easy? It's so easy to do this. Just listen to the fans, and you have a great movie. And I guess the question I have is it important for filmmakers with these properties to listen to the fans? And I guess the answer I have is it would be nice, but no, it really isn't. In fact, sometimes you have to go against the fans' wishes to make a great movie. Let's do an example here. Michael Keaton as Batman in 1988. How many fans around that time, and this is going all over Twitter too, how many fans were upset that they chose Michael Keaton as Batman, or Tim Burton chose Michael Keaton as Batman? There were a lot of people who were upset that they couldn't see Mr. Mom being Batman. But as soon as they did the trailer and they saw it, they're like, oh, I get it now. But if Burton decided to listen to the fans, would we have that classic Batman? No, we wouldn't have it. So he didn't listen to the fans. That was completely fine. Let's look at another example. I mean, I think this movie is now overrated, even though I do like the movie very much. But The Dark Knight. How many people were pissed they casted Heath Ledger as the Joker? A lot. A lot of people were pissed. They're like, how could he be the Joker? That makes no sense. Jack Nicholson's the Joker. Mark Hamill is... I like Mark Hamill as the Joker, by the way. Mark Hamill as the Joker. What could Heath Ledger possibly do to make the Joker... to do the Joker? He's too pretty for the role. What happened? He is probably one of the most beloved villains in all of film history with his interpretation as the Joker. Again, I think that's a highly overrated statement, but people loved it. My thing generally is this, okay? Make a good movie first. Then, if you can, listen to the fans. That's my feeling of it, essentially, is make a good movie first, and then if you can make the fans happy, great. But if you can't, but you still are making a good movie, okay, so a few people are pissed off. You're still going to have a good movie. Look at the X-Men, okay? Another thing that I think people were pissed off about. Dougray Scott was the frontrunner to be Wolverine at the time. And people were genuinely excited. And then they chose Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman was a unknown actor from Australia at the time. No one knew who he was. And fans started picking him apart. I was like, wait a minute. Like, Wolverine is like 5'1". He's a midget. He can't... Like, Hugh Jackman is 6'1". He's too strong. He's too handsome. He's... He nailed it. He absolutely nailed the role. Another thing with X-Men, they're not in their classic costumes. They're just in black leather spandex? That's lame. Why can't Wolverine be in his yellow and black? Because it would look absolutely silly. It's like, and did it turn out well? Yes, it turned out fine. That's the other thing too. Like, and I'll be dead honest too. Okay, sometimes listening to the fans is the right move. What they did with Deadpool in X-Men Origins Wolverine was absolutely silly and stupid, and the way they made that character was dumb. And when Ryan Reynolds turned it around and made the Deadpool movie and did it what he thought was right, he did listen to the fans, and that was the right move then. Okay, so it's not like listening to the fans is the wrong move every single time. That's not true. The problem with fans is that they tend to not see this as a creative medium. Okay, and what gets people to enjoy these movies is creativity. Yes, it would be nice to see Kingdom Come, the Kingdom Come series that happened on DC, to be done one for one. Would it be neat? Sure. Would it make a good movie? I don't know. I don't think it would. So you would have to adapt it in some form in order to make it good for a movie. And that's the thing that I think a lot of people fail to realize, is that when you adapt something into another medium, let's say a game into a movie into a game, a comic book into a movie, a comic book into a TV series, you do have to make changes. Now, it would be nice, it would be cool if they would do callbacks, or they would do something in the original medium that would find itself in the movie. Yeah, that would be cool. Is it necessary? No, not really. It really isn't. And a lot of these filmmakers do take what's in the comic books and use it as a blueprint as to what they are going to do in the movie. They do end up doing that. So it's not like they're not listening to the fans at all, or they're not paying attention to the source material. They are. But with that as well, they do have to make a good movie. This is going to cause a lot of people to go, what? But the Watchmen movie. I did not like the Watchmen movie. And this is coming from somebody who was a big fan of the comics. I love the comic books. I love the graphic novel of Watchmen. It is fantastic. But they forgot to adapt the damn novel into a movie. And all Zack Snyder did was say, okay, I'll just copy paste. And that movie right there, to me, is the reason why you should not do that. You should try and adapt it and fit it into a cohesive narrative that is good. That may also mean that you don't make a Watchmen movie, which to me probably would have been a good idea. Maybe Watchmen would have been better as a TV series. But I thought when I saw the movie, I was like, okay, I've read this. Like, yeah, it's cool, but okay, whatever. I just sat there going, okay, the most you can do in that situation is either match the expectations of the person that has read the comics, or disappoint them. You can't exceed that expectation. You just can't. So you have to, as a filmmaker, add certain things or subtract certain things in order to create a cohesive narrative in a movie. I mean, I think a good example of this is Gone Girl. Now, I haven't read the novel, so I can't cite examples from the novel. But the person who wrote the book is also the person who wrote the screenplay. And she even understood that principle, that I can't just copy-paste my book into a movie. I have to do different things in order to make it work as a film. And she got that. And as a result, the movie was very good. It was very well done. And this also counts for like movies that go from one language to another. An example is Funny Games. Funny Games was an Austrian movie from Michael Haneke. And he then 10 years later did an Americanized version. And he made slight tweaks and differences between the two. But he even knew you can't just copy and paste. You have to work around the edges. You have to cut certain things. You may have to add certain context. That happens between mediums as well. I would like for these fans to get exactly what they want and to be happy, but you have to also understand, you can't just copy and paste and say, oh, if you just do what we want, we'll see the movie. That's not true. Because if we do what you want and the movie is shit, you're not going to watch the movie. You're going to sit there and go, God, why does this movie fucking suck? Like, you said it's what you wanted and we did exactly that. What are you going to do? Especially with fans of a media, a property from a different medium. I think it's probably the most frustrating to listen to. Because all they'll say is, all you gotta do is just follow the comic book and you got a good story right there, man. I'm like, yeah, you have a good framework of a story. It doesn't exactly mean it's gonna work for the movie. You might have to change certain things. My favorite game, okay? My favorite game story, aside from Gone Home, which I don't think would work as a movie either, or a TV show. My favorite game story is Dragon Age Origins. If they were to turn around and say, we're gonna make a TV series out of Dragon Age Origins, I would be scared to fucking death. I would be like, oh no, what are they going to do? Like, what are they going to do? Because Dragon Age Origins is such it's not complex, but there's a lot going on in the periphery that you would have to have somebody who is so in love with the lore and so in love with the characters for that to work. And as such, they would have to make tough decisions. For example, what if they said, okay, we're going to do it, but we're going to have to cut Liliana? Liliana is my favorite character in all of Dragon Age Origins. Like, that would piss me off. I'm like, that sucks. Why would you get rid of Liliana? Or what if they said, what I think everyone's a fan of is Morgan. What if they said, yeah, but we have to write out Morgan because XYZ. Then what? What are you going to do? I mean, those are the things that you have to do in order to make a competent retelling of a story from a different medium. Sometimes you have to do those things. And let me circle back to Henry Cavill. I think the main reason why Henry Cavill is not returning as Superman is basically Gunn and I forget who the other person is, but James Gunn is probably looking at this and going, we need to distance ourselves from the DCEU. And let's be fair, the DCEU has been hit and miss. They haven't had all hits. In fact, I will comfortably say it's been mostly misses. They've not been that great. So he needs to distance himself greatly from the DCEU. Does that also mean maybe that Peacemaker is no longer around? Possibly. I mean, I think that's the main reason why he's probably going to distance himself from Cavill, and that he may not work with Gal Gadot. I say Gadot all the time, but it's Gadot. Which I think is the bigger travesty, because I think Gal Gadot is perfect as Wonder Woman, as Diana. But if that generally means that he's going to have a different vision for the DC universe going forward, it's what you got to do. You can't have you can't have a different take on something with the same exact actors. I mean, you could, but most audiences won't buy it. Like, if you had Henry Cavill as Superman, but he's more quippy, and he's more sarcastic, and he's more comedic, which might be the tone that Gunn is going for, it's not going to work. And audiences could be like, wait a minute, why is he different here than he is here? That's strange. Why are they doing this? And they're not going to know that, oh, new director, new person that is running the whole DC universe. They're not going to know that. So it's best to start over, I think. And yes, it means that Henry Cavill will not be Superman, and it probably means Gal Gadot's not going to be Wonder Woman, and that sucks. To me, that's probably the best move that he can make in this. So, should you listen to fans? Again, it would be nice, but it's not entirely necessary. If you make a good movie, they'll watch it. It is essentially what it is. Like, you can have people who are going to be like, oh, I'm pissed. I'm not going to watch this movie. I'm going to boycott. Like, yeah, boycotts are so effective. I'm going to boycott this movie. Once they hear, yo, this movie slaps. This is a great movie. You should watch it. They're going to watch the damn movie. They're going to watch it. If it's good, it doesn't matter how pissed they were beforehand. They're going to watch the damn movie. So, yeah. Is it important? No. Would it be nice if they listened to fans? Sure. But it's not important.